Okay, let's take a look at the basics getting started with MeshFusion. We'll just create something silly like this little watertight mesh we have here. Now the first thing you'll notice after you've installed is, hey, nothing looks different. What you need to do is head right over here to Layout. By default, we've not added anything to the main layouts. You'll go to your layouts here and you'll see three new layouts: Model Fusion, Model Schematic, and Tabbed Fusion. I like Tabbed Fusion because it gives me access to all of these things. I've got all my standard layouts, and then I've also got my Schematic Fusion and my standard MeshFusion modeling layout. Okay, so to get started here, we're just going to go to a blank screen, and the basic workflow is to start with some primitives. And MeshFusion includes a bunch of really nice primitives. So if I start with this guy, and we'll scale him down a little bit so we can see our screw thread coming through, our little spring. And now we just need to tell Fusion how to combine. So if we select this item first, hold down Shift, and select the second one, then go into New Fusion Item. Now the order of selection is important because I need to tell it to subtract the first selected from the others. And of course I need to know which one I selected first. So boom. Now what's happened is it has created a Fusion item, the procedural mesh item, and it has set up the relationship that this item has this item subtracted from it, which we can see here in the 3D tree. Now if you wonder about the 3D tree versus the schematic tree, they're both very useful, and you can convert from your 3D tree to the schematic fusion. My personal preference is to start with the 3D tree, and then once I get to a place where it's a bit complex and I want to do something more interesting or more complex, more involved, I can convert this to a schematic fusion. You can also just easily hide the tree, which is really nice. Now let me show you why I like the tree for getting started. We're just going to add another element here, and to make this add to these meshes, I just drag and drop it onto that additive icon here. So this is additive, this is intersection, and this is subtraction. And that's it. You're off and running, okay? Just before we wrap this up, let's go ahead and start a new item. I'm going to add a couple of fusion items here. And this time I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to tell it to give me an intersect. I think intersect is interesting. It basically creates geometry where there is intersection, hence the name intersect, between the two meshes. So if I just grab this guy and start to move it around, you can do some interesting things. So there you go. Just do that, and then let's add this mesh. Push that around a little bit. I don't know, scale it. Okay, and then grab that and subtract it from the intersection. Boom! That's just some wild, wacky stuff right there, my friends. So now you're off and running. That's a quick start. Step 1, go to the layout of your choice. Step 2, play with the presets. Step 3, well, profit. Cheers.